Hi, Walk-ins Welcome listeners. It's Hannah. It's been a long time since you've seen or heard from me. And usually I only hop on if I have to give you context to an episode. And that's exactly what I have to do today. So I was going the process of editing the episode that was supposed to go out today. And unfortunately, there were some technical difficulties. We are going to get the episode re-recorded. I do think it's really great. It's going to be super beneficial. That should come out here in a few weeks. But in the meantime, we are going to pivot a little bit and we're going to share a clip from our webinar that we hosted back in March, the 90-day clinic launch. So in this, Nick and Michael talk about different grassroots strategies, digital marketing strategies, so like local SEO, running ads, doing social media, as well as operational advice and tips that we've seen along the way to help you launch a clinic in 90 days, whether you're starting from scratch or if you're opening your 12th location. We've helped clients use this exact formula to make their clinic successful on day one. So we hope you enjoy. Like I said, we'll make sure the other episode is re-recorded. And yeah, enjoy the episode.
First 30 days, but it has to start before you actually open. So why 90 days is that we're finding that we've done this multiple times now with clinics where it takes that much prep work up front and that long to kind of get the ball moving a little bit. So that's why 90 days is real. And also in the world of business, we know 90 days you can get a lot done.
Yes.
And that's the sprint side things, like doing something in a quarter, all that type of stuff. That's how business mind works. And so we recognize that's what you want to do, because really after 90 days, like your mindset should be shifting a little bit. And that's how we're trying to approach all this. But so on this side of things, so the budget breakdown, so we're saying $6,000 to $10,000 budget over the 90 days. That's including your ad spend and all the things. It's not including the website, because a website build can be DIY. It can be us building it. It can be another company building it. And the range on that can be massive. It can be DIY for free, or it can be like us. We're like 3,500 to 5,000, give or take. And then the other companies out there are probably like 10,000, 20,000. I've seen website quotes all over the place. So we're not including that in this particular budget, just because at the end of the day, when it comes to urgent care, your website's important, but you don't have to double down like a $20,000 or $30,000 website to get traffic flowing to it. That's just not the world we live in. 10 years ago, may have been a different story, but in today's world, as long as it's presenting your information well and it's easy to get to and it works great on your phone, you're in the right spot. So anyway, so that's your budget. That's the mindset, $6,000 to $10,000 over the next 90 days. Just keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this.
All right. Cool. Timeline overview. So there are 3 phases to opening up your clinic from a marketing perspective. We do days 1 through 45. That's building a foundation, and we're going to go into this in detail. I just wanted to give you the highlight reel here. So the pre-opening, this is the work that you're going to do to make sure that you have patients coming in on day 1. And then you have opening week. This is going to be the try, fail, adjust period, right? So this is not the week that you're going to do your grand opening. This is just the week that you're going to soft open and figure out what's working and what's not.
You're taking a patient.
That's right. Hey, let's see if we can actually do what we say we're going to do,
exactly.
Right? Let's see if we hired the right people. And then post-opening, day 51 through 90, this is the maintenance and the scale operation. And what's going to happen in that day 51 through day 90, you're going to be able to get good data to build a long-term marketing plan. And that's what we want you to be able to do, is to say, on day 91, I know what I have to do. We know that our cost per lead is this. We know that we can handle this many a day at our current staff rate. And so if I need to go from 25 patients to 50 patients, I know exactly what I have to spend to make that happen. And that's the goal, is to have everything set up 1 through 90 so that you can predict 91.
And then hopefully you're getting some of your money back from all your investments now. So like that's part of the game too.
Right. So let's start by laying the foundation. All right, Michael.
Yeah, so start out the gate. This seems obvious, but people miss this all the time, is getting your business profile set up. So here's the thing. You don't have to have a already open business to set up a business profile. If you have in this world, if you're an urgent care, you have a building, you're either building it out or it's built out. And so there's an opportunity to go and set up your profile. We tell people all the time, like, the second you have some type of signage, you can go ahead and start doing your profile. Back in the day, it used to be, as long as you can get mail, they can send a postcard and it'll be fine. Well, they've gotten rid of that option. And now the main option is video verification, which is beyond frustrating. Not gonna lie, it's one of the more frustrating things that we have to work with clients on, because we can't do it because we have to be physically there. But the reality of it is,
you talking about the video verification?
Yeah. So
that'll make you want to punch small animals.
Well, and I saw a hack actually yesterday. I don't know if you saw the hack in our agency group, but so at the end of the day, what Google's looking for in a video verification to get your profile verified is signage that shows like it's your place, and it doesn't have to be like
Coming soon.
it doesn't have to be a permanent sign. It can just make sure your logo is on there with a coming soon or something that's on the door. That's step one. Step two is making sure the address is visible so they can see the address on the door or on the mailbox or on whatever. And then if there's any other physical thing that makes sense to show that in an urgent care, like you want to showcase that. And like it can be an under construction type building. It's just have enough where a person from different part of the country can say, yeah, that looks like the right thing. I'll verify this. And it's like a 1 to 5 minute video, depending on the situation. Anyway, so you have to have that. When we tell people, if you can't have signage up, you got to wait because they're just going to deny you. And when they deny you, it just doubles down how long it takes to get it set up. So that's the biggest thing I can tell you guys right now is making sure that signage is good and you have an actual address on somewhere, and then you can show that. Because they'll even say, can you walk from the street into your building? Like you have to like make a path.
Well, let me add something there. Just like you just from working at Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
you can go get a $50 banner made.
Yeah.
That's totally worth it because it's going to set you up for success. Go get a banner made at your local sign shop, hang it up, and just have your logo, the name of your company, and coming soon.
Get something.
That just lets Google verify it. I'm telling you, the sooner in that 90 days that you can get this set up, the better.
Yeah, because and then one of the hacks I actually saw yesterday is that somebody bought a package of magnetic numbers, and they could stick the magnetic numbers for their address anywhere, so they can just take it right back off after the video's done, and there's no like permanent piece to it. And so they literally had magnetic numbers and had a printout, and then they had a magnetic sticker of their logo, and they just slapped it on a door or something just so it'd stick, and it got verified. So at the end of the day, like the requirements aren't high, but they do take effort, because we've had people say, yeah, I tried to verify and I walked through and they said they couldn't figure out if this was my location or not. Well, yeah, because you had no signage at all. So that's step number one. And you can do this before you're open. And we're going to recommend you do this before you open because, like you said, it has to build, right?
Also want to throw out there, this is your digital real estate.
Yep.
Just the amount of time that you put in figuring out your location for your clinic or your second location for your clinic, that same level of energy needs to go into your Google business profile, because this is your digital real estate. There are 3 spots in that Google map pack, and you want yours to show up anywhere in that map 3 pack so that you can get that traffic coming to your website. It's huge.
And so one of the screenshots we show right here is that you can actually set a profile. You can say opening date. So you can actually set your actual opening date so it doesn't say you're open, because that looks bad, right? You have a business profile that says you're open and there's a phone number, but they call it, says, hey, we're not actually open yet. And so you don't want that, but you can have a opening soon date basically in business profile. And that's why we kept saying at the very beginning of this, we're assuming you have an actual opening date locked in. So this
something that we didn't add to this that I really think is going to be important is go ahead and set up your business phone number.
Yes.
And then have it forward somewhere, or have it go straight to a message saying, hey, we're opening on this date. We can't wait to meet you. Very upbeat, very positive. But the reason I say that is because if you put like your cell phone number on there or some other forwarding phone
Such
number,
a pain to change.
when you are ready to switch that phone number out, it can be a challenge. And I don't want to sugarcoat that. So make sure you set up your business phone account, even if you don't have it ready to go yet.
Yeah, we've had many times where a profile had a private personal number or whatever, and they had to change it, and then the profile got unverified, which was a big deal, and then it became a huge issue. So you got to think ahead a little bit. Now, one thing real quick before we hop back to that.
My bad.
Sorry. So this is something that we see a mistake made all the time, is deciding how you spell out your street or avenue or boulevard. Because at the end of the day, if you spell out avenue completely instead of AVE, or if you spell out boulevard completely instead of BLVD, you do any of that, you have a situation where you may not be consistent. And so we know that when Google doesn't get consistent information, it's going to get confused. So you want to be as consistent as you can, because the second, if you change suite to STE instead of actual spelling out suite, Google will get confused. It'll start making assumptions, and then it'll actually hurt your rankings in the future. So decide today and be extremely consistent for moving forward. Whatever you put into this profile is what you need to be happy with for the rest of the life of that location.
So Raheem had a question that I think is relevant to this slide, and I don't want to
Yeah.
get past it because of the relevance of it. The question is, what if you have an office building and that office building you're having trouble getting verified? Like it's maybe a medical building or
Yeah.
like a Regis or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, so on that side of things, so the biggest key is, so I have to make an assumption here. So you're in the side of a medical building, so your suite number, correct? Like that's the mindset. When it comes to verifying, Google doesn't seem to care how many suite numbers there are in a building because we've manipulated this before where we just added a random suite number and it didn't seem to care because in the verification, we showed a suite number walking on through the video. So from yours, because I've done this before with a client where we had to actually walk outside, go to show them at the office building, go in, and then basically, it sounds terrible, but we had to make a path for people to quickly get to our suite number because Google doesn't like waiting on stuff. So we had to make a path, and then we had to show our signage on the door with the suite number and go in that way, and it got verified.
Right.
And that's a big thing. And as a side hack too, if you're trying to do this with an iPhone, it doesn't seem to like you. If you try an Android phone, it will like it more often.
Unbelievable. Google prefers its own platform.
Yeah,
Shock and
exactly.
awe,
We,
right?
we had a situation in our own thing where we couldn't get verified, and I used I'm the only Android user in the office here, and switched to Android and it got verified. So it's just like the game we have to play, which is super frustrating. I hope that answered that question. Happy to go offline and talk to you more about it, but that's the general way we like to look at that.
And I just put in there, you can request a different verification type.
They try with iPhones. Yes,
yeah, very,
absolutely.
very
Android actually may be your answer.
We had that issue just when we moved into this
Yeah.
office. It took forever.
We
but-
tried 3 different iPhones.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I'm the only Android guy. I'll try. And it verified.
Annoyingly.
It's so stupid.
All right. So you're going to have to get your website in order. I want to make sure that we've already talked about that you're going to have a website, and I'm going to let you go through all this, but I want to talk about leading up to when you're going to open. There's 2 things that I recommend on that website, even if it's fully developed. The first thing I recommend is a pop-up stating very clearly the date that you're going to open.
Yeah.
And the second thing that I recommend is a way for them to join some type of an email list or a newsletter. And you can even build that into the pop-up if you want to.
Yeah.
Right. We want to make sure that we're very, very clear so that people don't get frustrated with you, that even though you have a fully developed website, that you're not open yet. And we want to make sure that that's clear.
Yeah. And so a couple of ways of looking at this. You either have a landing page with basic contact information that says opening whatever date.
Perfect. Yep.
That can be that's because we've had quite a few urgent cares that needed us to do that, where like a single page site that had their logo, phone number, address, coming soon, with a general date, and then it allowed some of their payer verifications to actually work because like a Blue Cross required it or something. So that's like a simple first phase. But if you're beyond that and you're like, okay, I want to build out the rest of the site. So a couple of things here is this is very obvious stuff, but just a reminder, make sure it works right on your phone. Make sure the call to actions are just super easy. Most people are looking for, and this is what we know, they're looking for a phone number or they're looking for a book now, save your spot, some type of online booking process, because that's how we function in this world where I need instant gratification. And that can be either the phone call or filling out a booking appointment. So make that super obvious. Don't bury it, especially if you're a single location. You should have no reason to bury that thing. Now, if you're like 150 locations or whatever, it makes a little sense. It'll get buried a little bit. Yep. But if you're a single location, it should be the first thing. And one click, they're going to where they need to go because that's how they function. They don't really care about your services. Google cares about your services, but the general public, they don't necessarily care unless they're looking for something very specific. We recognize that on the analytics side, STD testing, X-rays, immigration physicals, those are things that people do look specifics for. But beyond like normal urgent care services, they don't dig. They just assume, which is fine. A couple other things too is like we say at SEO optimized. Basically, is the content make sense? Like, is it well written? Is it written? There's enough link to it. Like, sadly, in the world we live in now, because of AI, your service pages have to be pressing beyond 1,000 words at this point, and that is just because Google is demanding that now. So to keep that in the back of your mind as well.
I want to throw something out with that. One of the things that we've started experimenting at Patient Care Marketing Pros is making sure that not only do we have the data, content, and length, that we structure it in a user experience kind of way, and we're seeing when we do that and we structure that data properly, that it's actually showing up better in search engines because what everybody else is doing, we have, first of all, I'm going to say we have no problem with AI content. You just have to have a human review it and rewrite parts that don't make sense. But where they're getting into a snag is when they just post up the AI content and they don't structure it properly and make it look good and easy to consume.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna throw that out.
Avoid the obvious AI content, right? And then patient resources. So, in today's world, the online form piece should be built into your booking software at this point, but having an available PDF version is always good. Listing insurance information. That's one of the number one questions that we hear with our urgent cares and the potential patients. Like they're asking, do you take this insurance? Do you take that insurance? Like we have a whole entire thing about how to train your front desk of like one of the things you need a quick sheet for your insurance list so the front desk can answer that quickly because it's always a question. And that also includes, do you do cash pay? Like naming off these general questions that people want, because we can assume most people have insurance, but cash pay is a pretty common question. Like how much is it just for a cash pay visit? And you need to easily answer that question. Don't be afraid to answer it too, because that's how people are looking right now, because in the urgent care space, the loyalty behind a patient's low. They're looking for convenience and cost. And if I can get an appointment in the next 90 minutes or 60 minutes, and then you can do cash because I don't have insurance, I'm probably gonna go with you, just because it's the way we function. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Don't be afraid to put that information out there because they are actually looking for it. So
good. Let's keep going. Hope this is good content for you. If you're getting anything out of it, drop a 1 in the chat. We're going to keep going though. SEO and local listings. SEO for the uninitiated is search engine optimization. And at its very core, it is the art of getting found on search engines. That's simply, thank you, Stevie, for that. It's just the art of getting found on the search engine. When somebody does a search, we want them to trip over your Google listing to find what they're looking for. Okay. Yep. That's the ideal scenario. One of the things that trips up people's Google business profile, not their Google business profile, but their online directory listings. Mm-hmm. When you build those, there's some places you can go to do this that makes it super easy. Yext directory listings, Bright Local is really good. Yep. White Spark does a really good job of hand building those. Yep. But when you were talking about earlier, making sure that you say the exact same thing in your name, address, and phone number. Quick story. I have an autistic son. And when he was, I want to say he was 5 or 6, Michael, I can't remember.
What I call you?
Yeah, we were on a vacation and my mom and dad are calling me son. My sister calls me Bubby. Connor, who's my oldest son, is calling me dad. And Heather, my wife, is calling me Nick. And when the most innocent way I've ever seen a child speak, he looked at me and goes, "Who are you? Like, what is your name? Like, what do I call you?" Right? Because everybody was calling me something different. Google works like a 5-year-old autistic child, and that if you don't say the exact name, phone number, and address the same way across the internet, it'll look at you and go, "Who are you?" And it'll move on to the next listing. Yeah. So I wanted to make sure that when I say keep NAP consistent, name, address, phone number, I'm not joking about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And one of the things too, so we mentioned the urgent care near me. So there's a misconception too on walk-in clinics. Mm-hmm. So you would assume, because walk-in clinics gets a lot of impressions, but walk-in clinics don't necessarily drive your online traffic that much, because at the end of the day, they're looking just to see if they can walk in. They're not going to book a time. They're going to just see if they can go in or not. So it's important that you listen to your site. Do you allow walk-ins? Which most of you do, I would assume. But you want to say that, but your focus is going to be urgent care near me. That is going to drive the majority of your traffic. If you're running ads, that's where you want to lean into. That's the starting point when it comes to what kind of keywords you want to go after.
In real time, I'm having an idea that I want to experiment on.
No,
you're all welcome for this. I haven't done it, but I want to do it. What if we had a button? Hey, do you want to walk in? And it takes to a landing page and it says, here's our address. Here's our hours. Click here for directions, and just have a landing page just for walk-ins. I've never tried that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So SEO and local listings. We're going to talk about, we're talking about reviews later.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to go into too much. We are going to encourage reviews, but I want to give you a bit of a strategy on that later. And then when we talk about creating local content, we believe that urgent cares make a positive and a really profound impact on the communities that they serve. We really do believe that. And part of that is calling out neighborhoods and schools that you serve, and maybe even churches in the area that you serve or whatever.
Yeah.
Be a part of the local, one of the things that, even though it's a big chain, When you go into Moe's Barbecue, not Moe's Bar, is it Moe's Barbecue? No, Full Moon Barbecue.
Yeah.
They have like the local high school team jerseys up on their wall and stuff like that. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that you have to do that, but understanding that you're part of that community is huge.
Yeah, and we have a little community section in this as well, on talking about some strategies that we've used personally, we've seen clients use, and what works. And so we're going to go through some of those as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, just remember, this is all pre-opening day. So just keep that in the back of your mind. These things need to be done pre-opening.
I'm going to touch on schema just real quick.
Yep.
What schema is it's structuring the data on the back end of your website so that Google can read it. Google doesn't read the content on your website. It reads the schema markup. If you're using us, we're already building that out for you. If you're using your another agency, they should do it. Like
it's kind of common practice at this point, but it is just one of the things that you need to be doing.
All right, social media.
The social media,
keep the ball rolling.
Yeah, so social media side of things, we list like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Those tend to be the top 3 that have the most traffic in the urgent care space. At the end of the day, if you're going to have to pick one, Facebook is still your winner for this. Yes, you can say like, well, Facebook, people don't use Facebook like they used to. Yes and no, but they still have over 2 billion users, so there's still people on there. We still see lots of interactions. And at the end of the day, Facebook is at this point the only true community social platform left.
100%.
The rest of them are education and vanity level stuff. And then LinkedIn's more professional. But Facebook is your go-to. Like, you really should have a Facebook page. And we're not saying like, if you build a Facebook page, you're going to magically get more patients. Like, that's not the mindset here. The mindset is that you are creating trust in the community, giving opportunities to talk about the community and showcase who you are. Because here's at the end of the day, chances are, as the owner of that urgent care, you already have a community impact of some sort. Like, you've already been there. And so people know who you are. You need to use Facebook to kind of promote some of that. So building out your Facebook professional page is super important. And then we also talk about employee side of things. Like, you can get employees involved. Obviously, this is before you open, so there may be some limitations there.
There should be lots of content about coming soon,
Yep.
opening. Here's what we're excited about.
Yep.
Hey, this is where here's what's happening in our build. Again, we're talking about opening a clinic, and this is that first section. We got to keep moving, Michael.
Yeah.
Hannah's reminding me that we're 25 minutes in. And
But
we got lots of
at
stuff.
the end of the day, we actually even have a resource about how to build out some of your posts and like here's some good ideas. We include that in the resources as well.
For sure.
All right, so Google Ads side of things. So we're going to assume you're running Google Ads because it's part of your budget in the situation. So you want to make sure that you're actually linking everything up in your account, but please don't use Performance Max.
Correct.
If I can
Max
just-
is not your friend.
don't let Google just run your ads for you. It never ends well. But you want to go ahead and build this stuff up because one of the biggest things we tell people when it comes to ads is it's not an on-off switch where, okay, if I turn on the ads today, I'll have patients today. That rarely happens. Usually you have to give Google some time to figure you out because Google does not just automatically reward you for giving them $1. Like, they want to understand, are you giving the best experience for the people that click on your ad? So it takes a little time. Like, it legitimately takes a couple of weeks for Google to actually kind of figure things out. But here's a couple of things to recognize though. Like, even before you're open, you can run some actual like display stuff as well. Like, here's some coming soon things just to kind of get things out there. You can keep a low budget here because you're not really expecting a ton of conversions right now. It's obviously because you don't need the patients yet. But these are things that just gets your ads accounts moving. So when the day comes and you're ready to actually run ads to bring in patients, you're not having to wait another 2 weeks for things to get figured out. It can actually start moving that ball really fast for you.
Yeah, Google Ads. Couple things that I want to add here. One, this is an immediate need search.
Yep.
So the people, what we're trying to accomplish with starting 3 to 5 days, however you spell the word before, I probably jacked that up. That's on me. The reason we want to do this 3 to 5 days before is one, we want Google's algorithm. We want it to start activating.
Yep.
Okay. So that on day one, people are finding you in those ads. Yep. If you start the day of, it's not going to work until 3 to 5 days later. Yep. That's the ramp up. It takes time to get it. 2 things that are going to drive costs. All right. I want you to listen very, very carefully. Vanity and greed. Vanity and greed. Vanity. I want to show up in every single search that anybody makes ever. Well, you can do that. It's going to cost you a fortune. It's going to drive all your cost per conversions up because Google is going to spend your money like a crazy expert.
Google never has a problem spending money.
Yep. And the other thing is greed. I think, and this has been proven over and over again, that a 3 to 5 mile radius around your clinic is all you need to be successful in hitting these numbers we're talking about. And when people start opening up to 10, 15, and 20 mile radiuses, people are not driving any further than 7.5 miles to your clinic. Keep it in a tight 3 to 5 range. So vanity, trying to hit every possible human keyword available. And then greed, I'm trying to catch everybody in this large bubble because I want them all. It's going to cost you a fortune. Don't do it. Let Google do the heavy lifting in a 3 to 5 mile radius. Let search engine optimization do the heavy lifting on the bigger bubbles.
Yeah, because you guys are in a great industry where your search volume is always high. So you don't need 10 mile, 25 mile, 50 mile radiuses like a home service company might need. Like that 3 to 5, like legitimately has thousands of people involved. Unless you're in a rural area, you can expand a little bit, of course. But
or if you're in New York, you need to hit a block.
Yeah,
you don't need to hit a
New
3 to 5
York,
mile
you're
radius.
like
You need a
1
mile,
or 2
0.5,
blocks, and that's all
right.
you need. It's amazing.
So it really does expand and contract based on your location. But for the vast majority of our urgent cares, that 3 to 5 is huge. Let's talk about community.
Yeah, it's the community side of things. So this is where you want to start having your conversation. This is you got to put your business hat on, your business development hat, and you got to go out as the owner and talk to these local areas that will basically kind of be a feeder system for you. So you got to talk to your schools because you have sick kids, businesses, other medical offices that may not be a competitor, but they have a referral source type of thing. Start looking for opportunities to do tours and workshops and talking to chambers and things like that. Like these are all items that like you can do prior to kind of build that relationship up front. So when you do open, there'll be people there celebrating with
To tell you who's masters at this are chiropractors. Chiropractors will go out. I think they get it. There's something about a chiropractor. They will go out to every chamber. They will go out to every BNI. They will go out to any kind of networking event, and they will just say, "Hey, I'm not open yet, but I'm opening."
Yeah.
And they'll get all of this free exposure, and they leverage it. And they're good at it.
Yeah, and I can just say from my own experiences, for now, like you need to dedicate 1 to 2 hours a day to work on that, just so you can be consistent. Because if you here it comes to sales, like if you're like kind of after it, it never works out. But if you're like consistent with it and you do this for a month, basically, a couple, for that 30, 45 day thing, you'll build some awareness that you didn't think you were going to get because people are like, oh, I've talked to him, or he seems really great, or she seems really great, because that builds that confidence. Because at the end of the day, when you're as an urgent care, like they want to have that trust factor built in, and that trust takes time when you're brand new to the area. So definitely encourage that. Digital, we love digital, but we recognize that the community side is super important. Honestly, it's just as important, more important than your physical location.
And that's the episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. Please feel free to give us your thoughts, concerns, feedback, comments, any questions you might have. You can send an email to hello@patientcaremarketingpros.com or find us anywhere on social media. And be sure to stay tuned to next week's episode. It's an interview with Patrick O'Malley. He's with EB Medicine in the laceration course. I'm really excited about the episode. Patrick is just a joy to talk to. And I know that Nick and Michael had a great time on that interview with him. So yeah, be sure to tune into next week's episode, and we'll see you soon. Bye.